Hey guys, I'm SEF from the band Your Favorite Enemies, and welcome back to this video series where we're exploring the ES-8 from Boss and the DD500. And for those who haven't seen the first video, I strongly suggest you to watch it, because you'll be able to understand this one. And today, the topics are the 4-cable method, the amp switching channels, assigning a switch for loop on-off, the master clock, and the MIDI program change. We call this the 4-cable method because it implies 4 cable. Quite simple, eh? With this method, it allows you to route effect at the amp input and the effect loop of the amp. In that case, you need to use the volume loop of the ES-8. What's a volume loop? You can use it as a 9th loop. You can plug your volume pedal into it, or you can use it as an insert point. What's an insert point? It's where the signal is splitting. The effect that goes at the amp input and the effect that goes on the effect loop of the amp. And what's cool with the ES-8? You can set this insert point anywhere you want. So here's how to connect it. The send of the volume loop of the ES-8 goes at the amp input. The amp send goes back to the return volume loop of the ES-8. After that, the output one left goes at the amp return. And if I was watching this video, I would ask, hey, where's the 4th cable? Pretty simple, eh? The guitar goes to the ES-8. So let's hear the difference with the reverb before the preamp and after the preamp. Second page, you see, here, letter V means the insert point. Right now is the reverb after the preamp. Let's put the reverb before the preamp. And I will show you as well how to change the channel of the amp with the ES-8. I'm using the Thunderworm from Orange, and I will use the channel B for the clean sound and the channel A for the distortion sound. And I will assign a switch of the ES-8 to change the channel of the amp. Pretty crazy, eh? And I will assign a LED as well on the ES-8 to tell me I changed the channel. And here's how to connect it. The external control 5/6 of the ES-8 that goes to the channel input of the Thunderworm. So let's assign the mute switch of the ES-8 to change the channel amp. But before, you have to go to Play Option, Control 5. That's the external switch that I plug to the channel input of the amp. And now it's time to specify the type of operation of this external control. I set that up to latch. What does latch mean? It's once it's triggered, it stays on. Until you trigger it again, it is off. First, we have to turn off the mute switch before assigning it a new function. Off. After that, we're going to assign number 1. Switch on. The source is our mute switch. Mod toggle. What does toggle mean? I explain it on the first video of this video series. Category is external control. The target is our control 5. Min, max, you leave it like that. Assign number 2 is the LED I've talked to you about. Switch on. Source is still our mute switch. Mod, toggle. Category is LED. The target is number 2 because I want the LED of number 2 to indicate me that I changed the channel amp. Let's assign the switch number 3 to activate the loop number 7. It's the DD500. I want to play with the vintage delay. Control expression. Going to assign number 3. First, you have to turn the switch on. Our source is number 3 here. Mod, toggle. Category is loop. And the target is loop number 7, or DD500. Min-max, you leave it like that. So let's hear it. Okay, let's try this. For the next example, I will use a slicer from bus. But before, I have to send master clock from the ES-8 to give tempo to the slicer. And as well, I will assign the switch number 3 to activate the loop of the overdrive. But I already showed you how to do it with the delay, so here's how. Let's set the MIDI clock. MIDI setting. MIDI out mode is out because we're sending MIDI message from the ES-8. Sync is internal because we're using the MIDI clock of the ES-8, and clock out is on. Let's try this. This time, instead of assigning one switch to change the M channel, we're going to use one patch of the ES-8 for the clean sound, so the channel B of the orange, and one patch of the ES-8 for the dirty channel of the amp, the channel A. Okay, how to do it? Going to this page, press the arrow there, Control 5, it's on. So it's going to be on channel A of the Thunderverb. Okay, let's talk about MIDI program change. First, what does program change mean? I have pedals on my footboard that have many patches, like the DD500, the Timeline, and the Big Sky. With MIDI program change, I can recall specific patch on those pedals through the ES-8. Okay, now I will do program change with the 2 Strymons pedal. It's going to be on patch number 5 of the ES-8. Okay, you're going to patch MIDI 1. Channel 2, this is the big sky on that channel. You can see here PC. PC means program change. You can go from 0 to 128. But what you can do when you have more than 128 patches on the pedal you want to do program change? Really simple. You just change the bank on the ES-8, MSB. Because the first bank is 0, so if I set MSB to 1, I can have access to the sound of 129 to 257. Every pedal handles the presets in a different way. Like the big sky from Strymon is divided in banks of 3. So bank 0, A, B, C. Bank number 1, A, B, C. And so forth. So that means that if you want to assign the patch or preset 50B on the big sky to an ES-8 switch, that would be the program chain 152. That's because on the Strymon, the first bank is 0 and not 1. So you set MSB to 1 and select program change 24, which gives the 152 we're looking for. So 50B on the big sky. After that, you have to send a MIDI CC, control change. We covered the subject on the first video of this series, to activate this sound on the big sky. Because right now, the only thing you ask to the ES-8 is to change a channel on the big sky. It's not activating it, it's only changing it. So, CC 102. The bypass on-off function of the big sky is CC 102. All the CC values are written in the owner's manual. On the DD500 is CC number 21. So, after that, the value, you set that to 127. If the value is 0, it means off. It's the same concept with the timeline. Look, patch MIDI 2. I set MSB to 1. Program change 12, it means bank 69 on the timeline. In the control change 102, value 127. So look the final result, guys. So that was it for this video, guys. I really enjoyed my time with you. And remember, if you have questions, comments, or just want to share about music and gear, write to me on my Facebook. And remember, it's really important to keep up the real spirit of rock.